Changing Jewish law. The Orthodox basically suggest that the law of the Torah can never be changed. And being a conservative rabbi and a conservative Jew, I tend to agree that the law is critical and important, and we live as Jews in a legal system. But at the same time, recognize that Judaism and Jewish law has been much more fluid than the Orthodox suggest. We believe that one of the great challenges in modern times is that even though it was wonderful to have a code of Jewish law developed Middle Ages that's still observed, the problem today is that if it's written down, then it cannot be changed. I want to show you some examples of, even in the Torah itself and in other developments, where Jewish law has always changed. One example is a story I've referred to in another video from the book of Numbers called the Daughters of Zelophehad, where the girls complained to Moses that the Torah law is not fair to them and to their situation because they have no brothers. The father's land, after he died, is lost to his family and his tribe, and it's not fair. Why should, just because he has only girls, they not get any inheritance? And Moses doesn't know what to say, and he turns it over to God, and God says that the daughters of Zelophehad are correct, and so it changes the law right there. And then in Deuteronomy it says, if the law is too complicated for you, go to the judges in your generation, they'll tell you what to do with it. And so clearly there's a notion that each generation the judges have to determine how the law goes. And from there on, throughout Jewish history, there are examples of how the law is developed and modified and changed based on the circumstances, in much the way American law is. Even though we have a constitution, we have a judicial system and a legislature, and they continue to figure out how to apply the law. Now, the added complicating factor of Judaism is that we believe the law originates with God, and so you have to be very careful before you change what you think was God's will. And that's really what the whole process of study and careful reflection and relying on the authorities of the age to determine how to apply that law to the situation. And sometimes new things come up which make changes necessary. And this is where the Orthodox and the conservative rabbinate disagree on issues of what should be changed. We agree that the law has to be changed carefully, but sometimes we think, based on certain considerations, should be changed. For example, there's a rule that a Kohen cannot marry a divorcee or a widow or a convert. Now, we understand originally that the Torah's idea was that the divorcees were considered to be bad women and converts were considered to come from the pagan world, but today those are ridiculous ideas. We reject completely, and so why continue that prohibition, especially for a position that doesn't have any significant ritual role today, the Kohen. Those are just a couple of the significant changes that the conservative rabbinate has made, because we understand that the law has to be changed when the circumstances behind it are no longer the same and are indeed seem unethical. So a little bit about the ideas of the trends in Jewish law and the way in which Jewish law should be carefully modified only when it's necessary, but only when it's necessary.